Hey there, welcome back to another video. This time it is another vlog. I'm going to try to do this one pretty short because I am dealing with a cold. I caught it from somebody before I went on my Thanksgiving break from college. So yeah, thanks to whoever it is that gave me a cold before I started my break. Like, I start my Thanksgiving break and then immediately I started to get sick, and I've been sick for the past few days. So yeah, hopefully I'll be over this pretty soon, and I think I will. I mean, I'm pretty much almost completely over it. I'm just dealing with some more congestion and things like that. It's at the point now where it's just annoying. But what I'm gonna do before I discuss some movie trailers that I want to talk about, because there's a handful of movie trailers that I'd like to talk to you guys about, and that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to make this vlog. Also, just to give you guys kind of a heads up on what's coming next, as soon as I feel better, I will record reviews of The House That Dripped Blood, Asylum, and From Beyond the Grave, as well as some sort of random sort of stuff. Some films that I saw, like Rough Night, which, oh my god, that is a rough night at the movies. No pun intended. That film is easily the worst comedy I have seen this year. I didn't laugh one time throughout the entire movie. That film is utter fucking garbage. And it definitely does increase the losing streak for Kate McKinnon, who has yet to be in a film that I thought was funny, let alone good. Not good. Not a good track record for Kate McKinnon. Anyway, yeah, I'll save that rant for later. And as well as a possible rant on Justice League. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't really know what my thoughts are on it. I know I don't have a lot of hope for it. But, yeah, be on the lookout for that. I'm not really planning on watching Thor 3 yet because, I haven't got around to doing a review of Civil War or Doctor Strange yet, and it's one of those where I kind of want to wait a little bit. I'm going to wait till Thor comes out on home video and then review the other Thor films again, as well as Thor 3 and a few other Marvel movies. Some other random stuff I'm going to do. I'm going to post a review of Man on the Moon, a Jim Carrey film, which are based on the life of Andy Kaufman. I watched that tonight. I thought it was a really gorgeous, wonderfully shot film with a great performance by Jim Carrey, and I thought it was a pretty great movie. Not necessarily accurate when it comes to following Andy Kaufman's life to the letter, but even the movie itself says that it doesn't do that. Overall, I thought it was one of the better biopics that I've seen. I checked it out because I watched the absolutely stupendously spectacular, compelling, gripping, and entertaining documentary, Jim and Andy, The Great Beyond, with a contractually obligated appearance by Tony Clifton, which is a documentary that just came out recently on Netflix, which recounts the making of Man on the Moon with never-before-seen footage on the set of Man on the Moon, as well as interviews with Jim Carrey and other people involved with the production. That is a really eye-opening, absolutely fantastic movie that I cannot recommend enough. Check that out as soon as you can. It is easily one of the best films that I've seen this year. So, and I don't know what I will do with another documentary I saw, which I really liked. I don't know how I would really review it, but I guess I can do sort of a mini review of it right now. I saw a documentary called Too Funny to Fail, which is about the life and death of the Dana Carvey show, and that was another great watch. It was fun, it was entertaining, it was well produced, a lot of great anecdotes, a lot of great stuff from everybody involved. And it's a Hulu documentary, and it's one that I'd also recommend to you. It's a very entertaining look at a pretty underrated show that had one of the most talented groups that you could possibly assemble for a sketch comedy show. When you had Dana Carvey, you had a writing team that had Louis C.K. and other people who were extremely talented. The cast not only included Dana Carvey, but it also had Steve Carell and Stephen Colbert. So it's a sketch comedy show that I caught when I rented it on Netflix years ago, and I remember it being irreverent and hilarious. And I was like, why did this show only last 8 episodes? And I always wondered what the behind the scenes story was behind the show and why it failed. And now, thanks to this documentary, Too Funny to Fail, I was able to see that firsthand, and it was definitely a worthwhile experience and a worthwhile watch. So, yeah, that's that. I'm going to show some stuff that I got real quick, and then I'm going to talk about some trailers real quick before I completely lose steam due to this cold that my body is fighting at the moment. Stranger Things box set. I might have shown this already. This was originally a Target exclusive, and it still technically is a Target exclusive. As you can see, it looks like a VHS. You open it up, you got the discs as well as a poster, which honestly is pretty shitty. I'm glad I have this because I am a fan of this show. And yeah, I haven't got around to watching season 2 yet, but I will, and that'll be another thing that another review that will be posted sometime this month. But anyway, that set is nice to have for a collector. You know, I'm a collector, so it's nice to have this. Nice to have the show as a physical copy. But what's not so nice is that it has no special features. Netflix is being a bunch of lazy fucking bastards when it comes to special features. There's nothing. There's no commentary tracks. There's no interviews with the cast and crew. There's no behind-the-scenes footage. There's absolutely fucking nothing. There's more behind-the-scenes stuff on the internet, on YouTube, when it comes to Stranger Things than there is on this set. I don't know what is up with Netflix not even putting anything on these physical media sets of their shows. It's not just Stranger Things, it's other shows as well. They need to up their game. Otherwise, why the hell would anybody really need to buy these physical copies? And apparently my cat is also like, yeah, why? I had to keep him out because he's been a little bit wild lately. I also got The Real Ghostbusters Volume 1. This is Amazon Warehouse deal. It's a really nice deal. This is the Time Life set that has the special features and everything. So I was really glad to get that. So this is a good thing to have for the Real Ghostbusters collection. Some DVDs I got from buybacks recently for super cheap. The Other Guys, the Unrated Other Edition. The Salton Sea with Val Kilmer. The Seamstress with Lance Henriksen. 47 Ronin with Keanu Reeves, just to see if it really is as bad as everybody says it is. Also, I basically got it for free because it's one of those buy 3 get 1 free deals. Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 1. Identity Thief. I saw this years ago. I actually thought it was pretty funny, but I haven't seen it in a while. White Palace with Susan Sarandon and James Spader. Rain Man with Dustin Hoffman and Tom Cruise. 10 with Dudley Moore and Bo Derek. Double feature with Jacob the Liar and Moscow on the Hudson. And then some Shout Factory releases that I was surprised I got for $1 each. Triple feature with Georgia Peaches, The Great Texas Dynamite Chase, and Smokey Bites the Dust. A double feature with Jackson County Jail and Caged Heat. And a double feature release that has been on my wish list on Amazon for a while. I'm really glad I got it finally. Of Def Sport and Battle Truck. So that's it for the DVDs that I picked up. Now we'll get to the trailers. People have been asking me about this one, so I'll just start off with this one, with this trailer. Star Wars The Last Jedi. I honestly am getting burned out in Star Wars films, so I could really care less about this new one. I really could take it or leave it. The Force Awakens does not hold up well after watching it again. Rogue One is a total bore fest, and I honestly thought it was pretty shitty. So I'm really not looking forward to The Last Jedi. It's one of those that I might see on home video, or if my parents want to see it, maybe I tag along with them to see it. But honestly, I am not really that big on the new Star Wars. I wasn't even that impressed with the trailer. The most impressive thing to me about the trailer was the cinematography. I thought it looked great, but it should look good. It costs how much money to make? But yeah, that's really all I got to say about it. It was a little bit disappointing, but there's not much else to say. It just doesn't really interest me that much. I guess I'm just not that interested in this new Star Wars franchise. Saw a trailer for a comedy coming out next year called Blockers, which is just showing me that the disturbing new trend of comedies just being gross out, lame ass comedies is continuing. This one has John Cena in it, which automatically makes it even worse. But John Cena's in this film, and you have Ike Barinholtz, and it's a comedy that is about a bunch of parents who want to cock block their daughters. And there's a scene in it where Ike Barinholtz gets covered in ass beer because it's beer that got funneled through some guy's ass, and John Cena had to drink it. Yeah, that's what we have to look forward to next year in terms of comedies. Shit like Blockers. I love to see the trend of fucking lame-ass comedies like Rough Night and Fist Fight and all this other fucking bullshit that isn't funny continuing into next year. Can we please stop making these fucking comedies? Stop making these R-rated, half-assed, gross-out comedies that are trying to be the next Hangover. It's not going to happen, okay? It's not going to happen. You're not going to have the next Hangover. All you're going to have is an audience that feels like they're hungover because they're being bashed over the head with shitty joke after shitty joke. I saw the trailer for a new 20th Century Fox Marvel film called The New Mutants, and it made me go, what? Apparently they're making a horror film. The New Mutants comics, there have been horror elements to them and had entire storylines that were horror related, like the Demon Bear storyline, which is considered to be one of the best, and I definitely agree with that. And apparently they're trying to do that storyline, at least that's what I thought, until I read an interview with the director who's pretty much saying that that's not what they're doing. The Demon Bear is going to be in the film in a little bit, but that's not going to be the storyline they're going with, which is disappointing. That being said, it looks like they're taking things into a different direction, and I like that. I just feel it looks like a generic horror film that Blumhouse could be releasing, and I find that to be troublesome. But regardless, I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a chance. Probably not in the theater, but I'll give it a chance because at least Fox here is taking a risk. Unlike Marvel, which is just honestly starting to get stale as well, just like Star Wars. Speaking of Marvel, we have the Black Panther trailer. The Black Panther trailer was a clusterfuck. Who edited this trailer? Somebody on fucking speed? Because that's what it looks like. I don't know. I like Black Panther in his cameo in Civil War. I don't know how he'll do with his own movie. I'm not one of those people who gives a shit about the assumed racism in the trailer, like so many other people are like. A lot of people are watching the trailer and being like, racist! I'm not even going to join that fight. I didn't think it was that racist, but yeah, that's just me personally. Regardless, I don't know about it. I thought the lead guy who played Black Panther in this, some lines in the trailer, I thought he delivered them pretty blandly and pretty badly. And there's a lot of CGI, and it's just one of those where I'm like, eh. Marvel's The Punisher, I really honestly like the second trailer. It won me over, so I'm going to check that out pretty soon, the Punisher series. I might even do a review of that series. I absolutely love, and by love, I mean love, the criticism that series is getting from critics who are giving it a lot of shit for being violent and complaining about it not saying anything new about gun violence and complaining about it not having a hidden message or a underlying thing to say about society. It's the fucking Punisher, okay? It's the Punisher. Have any of you actually read any of the comics? Because it doesn't seem like you have with the way that you're criticizing the show. It's just a bunch of violence. That's really what the Punisher is. The Punisher is a lot of no-nonsense bullets to the fucking head, alright? That's really what the Punisher is. Oh, the shootings and stuff, that's horrible. The shootings that have happened recently are absolutely horrible. But the Punisher should not censor itself, and the show should not lower itself. Well, not necessarily lower itself, but the show should not censor itself to appeal to some people who apparently don't understand what the Punisher stands for. They don't get it. The Punisher's a vigilante. He's a nut job. He's so fucking crazy that neither side in Marvel's Civil War wanted him on their team. So, just because there's been some scumbags who have killed people recently in mass shootings does not mean that the Punisher needs to put his guns down or the show needs to say something about gun violence. Sorry, I just had to vent there. Come on now. The show sucks because it doesn't have any social commentary on gun violence. The show sucks because it's a lot of it just focuses on hard graphic violence. I just don't understand that at all. If the show sucks because it's slow paced and there's a lot of shitty subplots and the story sucks, that's one thing. But from what I've heard, a lot of these bad reviews, it's just a lot of people bitching and moaning about it being too violent and how it doesn't say that much about society. Which I find a bunch of bullshit. That's not what the Punisher is. The Punisher punishes people with bullets in his fists. Speaking of punishing, at least punishing somebody's knee, the next trailer I want to talk about is for I, Tonya, which is based on the true story of Tonya Harding. I love that trailer. I really, really like the trailer for it. Margot Robbie looks like she's delivering the performance of her career. Allison Janney is also once again proving why she is such an amazing actress. And it looks like a fantastic film that I really do want to see. I mean, like the Goodfellas of figure skating. I mean, totally, I'm in for that. It looks like a very stylish film in terms of the direction. That's one that I'm definitely looking forward to. There aren't a lot of films coming out this year, at least for the rest of this year, that I'm really looking forward to. But I, Tonya is definitely one of them. And Jim and Andy was too, but I already saw that. And I cannot stress enough how great that film is and how much I really do recommend that you check it out as soon as you can. Bright, which is a Netflix movie, which it looks like a crazy fucking film. I will give the film this. It looks like Will Smith is definitely having fun with it, which goes a long way. The plot is at least somewhat unique. Yes, it's like Alien Nation meets Lord of the Rings with the orcs and the elves and stuff like that. But at least it's something different, and I gotta give it credit for that. I'm leery of it, though, because of the director, but I'll give it a shot. I will give that one a shot when it comes out this December. Some other trailers. The Disaster Artist looks like a lot of fun. Definitely want to check that one out sometime. James Franco is perfectly embodying the craziness of the enigma that is Tommy Wiseau. Sherlock Gnomes, what the fuck? What the fuck is that? Like a Romeo and Juliet sequel years later with just absolutely cringe-inducing jokes. No ship, Sherlock! A gnome farts multiple times while he's in a mud puddle, and it's all like, oh, it's like a sauna. Just no. Just no. Fuck that. No. The Shape of Water, which is a film that honestly looks like the Abe Sapien prequel, but I'll take it. Del Toro's directing it. Looks like he's doing a good job. A lot of it's the effects are done practically. Doug Jones, who played Abe Sapien in the Hellboy films, is playing pretty much the Abe Sapien in this. I mean, look at the design of the fish man in The Shape of Water. It is almost 100% identical to Abe Sapien. And I don't think it's really a bad thing. I definitely want to check that one out. It's just a shame that Hellboy 3 was not able to get made, because look at that. I mean, that looks great. And why could we not have had Hellboy 3? Instead, we get Pacific Rim Job 2. erection. That film looks like a fucking dick. It looks like it sucks dick. Yeah, let's make Pacific Rim Job 2, but let's not do Hellboy 3. Instead, let's reboot Hellboy. Why? Why? Why can't we have Hellboy 3? The only reason why Hellboy 2 didn't do as well in the box office is because it went up against a juggernaut that was The Dark Knight. And that is not that film's fault. But, yeah, it is what it is. But at least we have The Shape of Water. Saw a trailer for a film called Game Night. Actually looked like a lot of fun. Looked like a fun comedy. Rachel McAdams, Jason Bateman. Look like they have good chemistry. Look like they're having fun. The plot is somewhat unique. It's a combination of Clue meets The Game. And it looks like a fun R-rated comedy that isn't just relying on gross-out humor to get laughs. Which, honestly, I appreciate. I appreciate that a lot. Speaking of comedies, Deadpool 2. I'm so happy and so psyched for Deadpool 2. I can't even say the title. Deadpool 2 had a teaser that came out recently called Wet on Wet, which was a really funny parody where Deadpool is parodying Bob Ross, which really did speak to me because I remember watching Bob Ross and his painting show with my grandmother when I was a kid. And I always remember that my grandma was not a fan of Bob Ross. She liked all of these other painting shows that used to air on PBS, but she was always like, or OPB, but she was always like, what the hell? Like, what is up with Bob Ross? Like, why is Bob Ross such a big thing? She always thought that Bob Ross sucked. She thought his painting sucked. She thought he sucked. It's like she would watch the Bob Ross Joy of Painting show, like, as a last resort. And I loved it. I loved to hear her commentary on while she was watching the show and just being like, "Oh, he's just painting another tree again. Oh, he's just painting trees in a mountain in the mountains." And she was like, "Oh, he actually painted a lake this time. Wow! And he painted some snow. Wow! We're in for a special treat today on the Joy of Painting." But anyway, yeah, that was fun to see Deadpool cosplaying as Bob Ross. Holy fuck, Knuckles! I am high. I am so fucking high right now. Yeah, that looks like a lot of fun. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. The little bits that I saw of the actual teaser for the actual movie, I liked. Looks like one of the directors of John Wick, is going to really up the ante in terms of the action, which I felt could have been better with Deadpool. But yeah. That is one of my must-see films next year is Deadpool 2. Like, one of the few must-see films, because I took a look at the list of the films of 2018 so far, and it did not look that promising. Another one that actually does look promising to me that's coming out next year is A Quiet Place. I really like this teaser. I thought it was an excellent teaser, a prime example of less is more. I really like Emily Blunt as an actress, and I love this concept. It's like Tremors meets It Comes at Night, and it's like this post-apocalyptic film where you have this future where shit has gone down, and some kind of creatures and monsters have taken over that react whenever you make a sound. And I love how the trailer didn't reveal what these creatures were or what they look like. And I like the fact that this movie might not just be a jump scare movie. Like, it's going to be a traditional old school horror film. And I really think that is something that a lot of horror films lately are missing. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. I'm definitely not looking forward to Rampage, which looks like a raging pile of shit and piss. How do you fuck this up? They managed to fuck it up, though. You have a very simple concept of a video game movie based on a video game that had a simple concept of people who turn into giant rampaging monsters. And in the movie, you take out the people for some fucking reason. So now all you have is a generic monster movie. That's a brilliant idea. Let's just make it, oh, people don't turn into these monsters. The Rock doesn't turn into a giant ape. He has an ape who he's friends with, who gets exposed to some mutagen and then becomes giant. And then we have a giant wolf, and then we'll have a giant reptile later. And it's all in CGI, and it looks like fucking shit. And I'm just like, what the fuck is the point of this movie? Why are you calling it Rampage when it isn't even really necessarily anything like the game? The game wasn't just rampaging monsters through the city. It was people who turned into rampaging monsters who rampaged through the city. Which made it different enough than just your typical Godzilla wannabe. But now that you don't have the people turning to monsters, it's just the same fucking shit we've seen already. It doesn't help either that we have the director of San Andreas directing this, who apparently has a helicopter fetish because once again, The Rock is flying a helicopter. I mean, really? Like once? Okay. 2 times? That's a bit fishy. It's a bit fishy to me. Why is The Rock playing a guy who flies a helicopter again in Rampage? He played a guy who flew a helicopter in San Andreas. Is this like some kind of pseudo-sequel to San Andreas or some shit? I buy the helicopter fetish thing. I'm just imagining the director just watching The Rock get into the helicopter. Yeah, Rock, you get into that cockpit. You get right into that cockpit, Rock. Grab that throttle, Rock. Hold it. Hold that throttle, Rock. You jank it. You really just hold that throttle. Move that throttle up and down. Move your hand up and down that throttle, Rock. Yes, do it. Do it, Rock. Move it up and down. Yes, make those rotors spin, Rock. Make those rotors spin. Make those rotors spin. But yeah, it's more fun talking about the movie in terms of shit talking Rampage than it is honestly talking about the movie in any sort of positive light. Wow, The Rock just seems like he's on a total downslide in terms of his career, in terms of the movies he's picking. This just looks like a movie that's about the quality of the boogers that I would pick out of my nose and flick at the fucking screen. Incredibles 2 teaser trailer, I don't have much to say about it. It's honestly kind of just like, that's it. Just Jack shooting lasers at his dad's head and like breathing fire and shit. Like, it was honestly kind of a lame teaser. It was like, why even give us that? I'm looking forward to it though, because I loved The Incredibles. It's just one of those, I'm like, why is it taking you this long to do this sequel, Pixar? You had like 2 fucking sequels of Cars before you did Incredibles 2. But I'm still glad they did it, and I'm definitely looking forward to Incredibles 2, despite the fact that the teaser wasn't much. But yeah, that's all I have to say about trailers. I think I'm about close to being out of breath. I'm about close to have run my voice ragged, whatever I have left of it right now. And I don't have anything else to say when it comes to this vlog. This rapid fire vlog where I've shown you some stuff that I picked up, and I've also just shown you a rapid fire series of thoughts on a bunch of trailers that I saw. But anyway, I don't really know what else to say except thank you for watching, and as always, I will see you guys later. See ya!